Okay, we're going to show you the new Blowtherm control panel, which has a lot of new technical advances to it. First, I'll take you through the screen and what buttons we have here. This first button is a menu button. It gets you into separate levels for service, configuration, and settings. You cannot get into these without password lock. However, in the service menu, we have a lot of information here, such as a filter chart here. When the booth is running, it displays what the actual filter usage is, and we have some lower alarms and upper alarms on each filter. So as these filters start to get clogged, they're going to hit these indicators. When it hits the pre-alarm, it's going to give you an alarm on the screen, just as a pre-alarm. Once it hits the actual alarm, it will shut the booth right down. So we set these parameters up here when the filters are new and what the pre-alarm and alarms are going to be set at. There's a lot more information on here, such as we can enter the cost of his electrical power, the cost of his thermal power, and we can calculate what the usage would be for each cycle. So we just finished a complete spray and bake cycle, and we used $9 based on this information. This will reset per cycle. You can set your time and date, set the language you want to set at, the password protect, and it gives you a history of the alarms that have been going on. Down here we have a start button and a stop button. This is our working process button, which I'll describe here in a minute. These are all phase indicators. So when this is on, you're in the economy mode or spray mode. This would be a flash button. When it's pushed, it will go into flash and create a program to dry your base coats. This is a cure button. When it's pressed, it will go through the working process. And when this is green, it's in the cool down mode. We also have a burner on off button, lights for turning the lights on and off, and we also have another feature in this booth, which is the ultra airspeed. Basically, when you turn all these zones off, you have air just coming down in the center of the filter. If you're spraying the front portion of a car, you can direct all of that air to the front of the car and have a higher airspeed, which is going to create a quicker drying cycle. So every time you start this booth up, it goes through a self checklist and tells you that it's okay to start. Every time you start it, it goes through a cleaning phase, which is 80 seconds long. It's basically cleaning the booth out from any fuels or danger that may be present before it starts and lights up. After the 80 seconds is up, it automatically goes into an econo cycle, which is half of the actual energy it takes to run. So it's saving a lot of energy electrically and thermally. It's an automatic system, so that when he starts to spray the gun, it'll actually ramp up to the spray mode, which is fuller or a higher CFM for exhausting all of his fumes. Like I said earlier, this here is your working process. So we have it selected on process number 1, which is a base coat clear standard. So it will go through all of these modes here once it's been selected. Go through your spray temperature, your economy temperature, your flash temperature and times, pre-cure, which is a purge temperature and times, a speed cure, which is going to elevate the temperature up to a higher temperature for a short period of time to get the metal temperature up quicker, and then it's going to drop back down after 7 minutes to 149 for the remaining 15 minutes. And this will be a process that will be for the standard clear. We also have